Whoa.
I believe
It's time to find a way out of this place.
the next thing
really,
is
I mean
the
it.
mutants. Trying to teach me about mutants. Yeah, teaching me about mutants. Hello.
The Morks produce biomatter in their bodies under distress. Rods that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you.
And see, getting up into the air is a lot quicker too.
That hurt 'em. Upshocked.
There we go. Getting him in the air for that. Nice, that spun him out too. It gets him down on the ground every time. Being able to control each enemy in the battlefield is super important. Like I said, I like unarmed in this game. It really does pay off for me. Oh, I gotta find Morks to fight so I can get more. Oh, is this the jump puzzle? Jump puzzle. Let's go see what the jump puzzle gives us. Huh? Might be the same thing every time. I actually don't know if it's the same thing every time. But I do know that it's always worth it to get a little bit more loot. An incrementor. Incrementor? Oh man, that didn't work out.
Hand up, further you
It's
go.
supposed to be a double jump. Oh well. It'll be fun to cut this video up later. Gotta rewatch everything so I get good names for every video clip. It's, I thought it was a lot easier to do than it is, I'm not gonna lie. I really did figure that it was easy to put a name on your video clip, but you gotta tie it into what it is that
built vessels called
happens in that
arcs
video.
to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind.
Oh man. A friend of mine and I theorized about a cool second half of this game was for it to be the humans came back and we have to decide whether to help or fight them and then how to help or fight them. Would be a big thing, like just like you do with the tribes, you know, there would be a group of humans that wanted to come back and recolonize and maybe be friends, and then there's a group of humans that wants to come back.
Apocalypse eons ago. It's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours.
So the other faction would want to take the world back from us as a people, like the little furry creatures that we play as. They'd want to take it away from us. So that's a cool, little twist of events. We thought it was fun to theorize about at least.
The sound of
Gunshots?
spark metal
Yeah.
going pew pew is
Solid.
never a good thing.
I mean,
It's
why
coming
is
from
it
behind that
never?
door.
That's okay. I
A
mean, you see a
warning
really
label.
big,
The
gnarly.
box
I
looks like a
guess
potential
it
brain
is a
melt.
good idea to say that it's never good because you
It's
do
going to
end up
take a
in
bit
a
of puzzling to
situation.
short-circuit the door.
No, no.
Just a few moves left. Make them count.
Wow. Kind of dorked out there. Could have solved that a lot better, but it's okay. We solved it with enough moves. Didn't shock ourselves before the next fight. I love the ears. Hey, out of date.
The
Yeah, I know how to parry.
outnumbered. You'd better help him out.
Now, this is what I meant.
I'm good.
Alright, so downer. Nice. That should be a takedown.
Making great progress. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives.
I mean, I'm gonna gather everything these little guys drop, but then I'll talk to the wheeled one. I've got to make sure to get whatever loot I can out of this place, man. This, these despawn if I don't grab them here. No, I don't remember where everybody fell. I guess that's close enough. Flashback time. It closed this direction. Alright. Now, take a look at your environment real quick. Do you see any other doors? I do not see any other doors. Remember this door. We pulled it closed. Alright. Let's go. Hey, out of date.
He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Looper Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have.
Why?
It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree.
Alright, that's just default dialogue advancement, which is fine. I don't mind the story moving along at its own pace. Hey! The Fonz!
Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Mooma knows you are here.
I don't know if I told her.
You're such a good child, so you probably did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people.
Potato people?
The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here fueling its source of life.
Potato people.
You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki.
Alright.
The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding.
Alright. Will do. Shouldn't be too hard. Let's see if I can actually do this still. Doop. Nice.
You found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone.
Oh, yeah?
The Nono's ki energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life.
What Pensai?
The small tree you saw up there where you met will eventually grow into a tree of life and start giving back to nature. It'll be the heart of the land. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the Nono as they become one with the tree. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy.
Alright. So you're gonna give me a flat net to catch it with. It's not exactly flat, but okay. Cool.
You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed.
Thank you.
One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain the world.
Well,
But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree.
got it. And we go up the hill. It's kind of cool that you're like slower as a kid. Weirdly makes sense. You don't have as much muscle packed into each, jogging step or each lunge or pounce or whatever.
Now that you've seen the Nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt.
True.
From this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone.
The Fonz is so cool.
One day, the land won't be as peaceful.
So he's either the
Not even your
Fonz
Mooma
or
will
he's
be
like
able to
Elvis
protect
Presley.
us.
It's kind of a hard decision for me to
He
make
says
it
you'd
there.
better hurry back to the village before your Mooma comes looking for you. You did good here today.
She only cares about Wong Fu.
That's not true. She's the reason there's still unity, and the only one strong enough to keep the 6 Wang Fu disciples disciplined. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain.
Alright.
The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived.
End of days?
Records tell of the ruinous devastation the Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land. The apocalypse sparked a re-evolution, the second coming, and our lineage.